Hello and welcome. This is the Marketplace. Here we're going to analyze the market. We're talking about trends and investment and how your global development impact on your business activities here in the country Ghana. On the program today, the Ministry of Finance overspends portion of the total annual budget funding amount allocated to it from oil revenues. We'll be looking at that here in detail on the Marketplace. And also, ECG workers demand clear roadmap from government as they demonstrate in some parts of the country. What is actually accounting for this? What are they actually up to? We'll be looking at that also in detail here on the Marketplace. And also bring you some live report from the various parts that they are demonstrating here in Ghana. And also the industrial sector of the economy witnesses one of the biggest lacks in latest GDP estimates. All these and more is what we're going to feed you here between now and 1:30 on the Marketplace. My name is John Kojo Amwakuba. You can stay interactive. Our Twitter handle is simply Joy Business GH, and on Facebook is Joy Business. For more, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Please stay. We are back after this break. You're welcome back. And in our first story, latest report from the Bank of Ghana indicates that credit extension witnessed a significant decline from 2014 to 2015. Lots of businesses struggled in getting access to credit from banks last year. The development resulted in some cutting credit to enterprise and other business activities here in Ghana. George Rafe has been going through the report and filed this particular one.
Financial Stability Report by the Bank of Ghana attributes the decline to the inability of funds borrowed by businesses to be paid back on time for the decline in credit. The report shows that despite the drop, private sector still accounted for the largest share of loans granted compared to the public sector, with most loans going to commerce, finance, construction and the energy sector. For many, the development was expected, as some banks like Standard Chartered Bank had already indicated that it will limit credit to some sectors of the economy due to the high non-performing loan rate. The development, according to the report, resulted in a decline in profits of some commercial banks. For a lot of bank managing directors that Joy Business have spoken to, if the situation does not improve in terms of paying back these loans on time, as well as the economic environment, they might be difficult to grant loans to businesses in the coming months.
In other stories, MTN said it's poised not to only be the leader in the 4G internet space, but also offer the best of services to subscribers. MTN on Tuesday finally rolled out its high-speed 4G services across all the regional capitals here in Ghana, and after a month of test runs, Sheila Tamaklo reports.
4G internet offers between 5 and 10 times the performance of 3G, with faster download speeds and better overall data performance. MTN acquired the 4G license last year at the cost of $67.5 million and invested an additional $18 million to fully deploy the service. Speaking at the launch, MTN's General Manager for Consumer Marketing, Noel Ganson, said the service is expected to facilitate the operations of businesses that depend heavily on the internet.
Well, I think if you're a businessman and you want to grow your business, improve your business, and do very well as well, I don't see why you shouldn't latch on it, because what it's going to do is going to save you time, it's going to save you cost, etc. Why do I say it's going to save you cost? In days that you need, because of speed, you need to put up staff services to do a particular job over and over, you're going to cut down that cost entirely. What it's going to do for you is that it's going to make your business interaction with other people that you have elsewhere a lot more faster.
MTN is the only mobile operator licensed to operate 4G service to join the league of internet service providers, including Surfline, Busy, Blue and Gold Key. As the leading telecoms operator in the country, MTN is expected to further deepen competition in the 4G internet space, which has other players offering the service in limited areas. Mr. Ganson described as strategic their decision to join the 4G internet market.
I think you are much aware of how this market has been overpopulated. We're talking about penetration level well within the regions of 116% plus and counting. We have 5 telcos in the market today. We have 5 telcos competing with us. When you go into the 4G space as well, you have other players already in the market. The clear differentiation here for me is that I've got 4G on the go, whilst the others don't have it. Okay, so I'm not envisaging the competition to be lesser by the day. I'm envisaging it to be tougher by the day. And as you can see, we did our homework quite well before we're out there today. And we're all ready for the competition.
Customers at the launch were given the opportunity to test the service and also watch a live feed of the rollout across all 10 regional capitals.
Now moving on here on the marketplace, the 2015 annual report on the management of petroleum revenues by the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, has revealed that the Ministry of Finance spent 34% more of the total annual budget funding amount allocated to it from the oil revenues accrued in 2015. According to the report, the ministry spent $1,124.2 million compared to the $1,086.228 million allocated to it in 2014. PIAC also discovered that no part of the NBFA allocation to the capacity building priority area was used to fund any capacity building initiative in the oil and gas sector in 2015. To give us further explanation to this, we've been joined by the chairman of Professor Paul Basua, who is actually head of the PIAC committee, on the line to actually help us discuss some of these and put some of them in perspective. Prof, you're welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you very much.
Exactly. Can you take us briefly through the report and what you think stands out?
Actually, with what you made mention of now, the government is supposed to spend 70% on the ABFA, and the amount received was 1.086 billion, as you rightly said, for the ABFA. And then the actual amount for utilization that the ministry executed was 1.124 billion.
Okay.
Meaning that there was an excess of 38 million, which translates to mean that you have been able to spend more than what you received. And in common sense, it means that Article Section 18 of the PRMA, 81 Act 815, has been violated. And that is the sole reason why we are saying they have overspent, and they have to look at it seriously.
Apart from this particular one, what are some of the highlights in there that you think the public should, be in the know, so we can also hold them accountable for some explanation?
The other area of interest is in connection with the GMPC.
Okay.
GMPC, they were allocated, let's say, 100% for them to do their work. And you will not...
Sorry, when you say 100%, can you give us absolute terms? How much does it come to?
The total amount they received was $126 million. Okay, that's
so
100%.
That's what you mean by the 100%?
Yes, out of which 52% was for equity financing, and then 48% were receipts for their operations, other operations. And I'm surprised to note that 45.6% of this amount was used in guaranteeing.
Guaranteeing what?
In guaranteeing other works. For example, that is West Corridor roads payment. That is the roads that lead to Atwabo. then Trafigura product trading payment, which goes to about 14.8%. And because they are shareholders in Sorpon oil fields.
Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Okay, we seem to have lost Professor Boabaswa there online. I'm sure we're going to actually take him back when we actually be able to make the connection there. And that was Professor Boabaswa from the PIAC, or the head of PIAC, giving us some perspective into what exactly is it that the report details and the headlines that he was actually sharing with us, saying that, for example, some entities, especially, yes, have to overspend their money. Even the government also did overspend in excess of about 54%. As to where exactly the money came from, we are yet to find out. That's how we lost. Okay, we lost. We are here. We've actually connected Prof back on the line. Prof, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much.
Exactly. Can you continue from where you ended?
Yeah, I'm saying that for the guaranteeing, they were able to use some for car power in its activities, store and bus to pay for the transactions, and also the Western Corridor roads, which amounted to 45.6% out of the money given to them.
But per the law establishing GMPC, are they not mandated to use this kind of money for these purposes?
You can do that if it is business-like, if you are going to benefit out of it. And if the money that you give out is not paid immediately, it affects your transactions. And that is what we are trying to say.
Okay.
That if you give that money for those works and they are supposed to be refunded, yes, why not? But if in the course of the year you use almost 45% of your thing, of your money to guarantee, then what happens to your other way? Okay.
All right. There were also some bits of your report which did indicate that monies meant for, let's say, training purposes and capacity building in total did not really go. Can you explain what accounted for that?
Actually, there is some capacity building taking place with the Petroleum Commission and others. But we are talking about the annual budget funding amount.
Okay.
Which there is a portion that should deal with oil and gas capacity building. Since the inception, since the report from 2013 up to date, no money has been allocated to that angle. And that is our serious concern if you want to.
Why should it be serious concern if the government is the one supposed to determine the priorities of the state? Or is it provided by the law?
It's provided by the law that capacity building, and in brackets, including oil and gas.
Okay.
So the government can look at capacity building and neglect including oil and gas. And that is the sole reason why we are saying there should be a clear definition of the capacity building in oil and gas industry and guidelines given so that at least every year some amount can go there to increase capacity, maybe technical or engineering or other services, so that we can increase the local content in that area.
Okay.
But if that money is concentrated on building classrooms, trying to get notebooks for teachers, or trying to satisfy capitation grants, feeding of training colleges, though it's capacity building, but it does not go in actual line in the initiative in oil and gas sector.
Okay. Now, you did mention earlier that some of the government overspent its annual budget funding amount by almost about, I think, over 30%. Where did the extra come from? How did they make the money to overspend, or where did they make the money? Did they charge those that they are not mandated to charge by the law?
This is where I think we have to probe into further, because from simple mathematics, as I earlier on said, the excess of 38 million, they have to account for how did they get it? How did they get it?
But have you made any further probe after establishing that it's been overspent? Have you further probed into it to find out where exactly they got that from, and as to whether where they got it from was legitimate and legal?
Actually, when we were doing the validation with the Ministry of Finance, we did not actually saw it to be important to raise this issue for them to answer. But later on, we saw that it's an infraction on the PRMA, and that is why we are raising it. And we have to maybe also let them be aware and explain why that money, how did they get that money, since only 1.08 billion was allocated for you to spend.
Okay, but let me ask that. I mean, I think it's also simple to find out because the account is public knowledge. You can easily find out from the central bank the balances in these accounts. Have you checked whether that account is outstanding or probably is not up to where it's supposed to be? Because most of these are in the public domain. We do know how much is going to this account, how much is going here. Have you established the fact that that particular amount is actually short in the account?
I cannot say definitely.
Okay. We thank you very much, Professor Paul Basua there. He's the head of PIAC, that's the Public Interest and Accountability Committee there, looking at how Ghana's oil revenue is being spent and spent judiciously. Thank you very much for your time here on the Marketplace. We're taking a short break. Welcome back, and this is the Marketplace. We're still waiting for your contributions and your comment. Our Twitter handle is JoyBusinessGH, and on Facebook is Joy Business. For more, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. And in our next story, the impact of agribusiness has not been largely realized and has continued to contribute insignificantly to your GDP. Despite overall contribution of agriculture to the economy, the sector is still dominated by subsistence producers, with only a few in agribusinesses. The CEO of MJAP, Samuel Abunya, is one of the few agribusiness entrepreneurs, and it's interesting that what he does in the country. The Joy Business van made its way to his processing center in Sawam in the eastern region to learn how he has turned smoked fish into a very big business.
The town in Sawam serves as a major business center for most farming communities in the eastern region. It was once home to a multi-million-dollar cannery. The Joy Business van is at Sawam today. Smoking tons of fish for sale, that is what Samuel Abunya does for a living. He is CEO of MJAP. The idea came to him at the time he was jobless.
My wife went to the market one day to buy this type of fish. And when they get home, in fact, before she could use it, two of the fishes were not wholesome. And I went with her to the market that day. And the place they were selling this fish was not quite hygienic, and it was exposed. It was displayed on the tabletop. You can see the way we're using their hand to get off the flies and all that. So when we came back, and my wife told me, "Oh, husband, look at it too. Even the fish we bought, this type of fish also costs more than the sea fish." And for us to throw away two of them to the dustbin, so I said to myself that can't we sell this fish in a different way, in a more hygienic way than the way it's been done all over the years. And when I was a little boy, I used to go to fishing with my uncle, so I know how this fish tastes. So I told my wife that, look, now that we have lost our land since we are no more in the port working, I'm thinking of what to do. I think I'll take up this challenge.
The fish are harvested from the Volta Lake and then transported to a processing site which he constructed at his home.
At this stage, the fish just came in from our landing site, and it needs to be heated for us to be able to sort out the bad ones. We know that during the processing, not all of them can be well processed. So we do hit them here at a certain level for us to be able to sort out the bad ones. So that is what we are doing now.
And so if you look a little closer, you see the hot coal burning inside there. Okay, so we are done smoking the fish. What do we do next?
So now it's left with the packaging. So let's go.
All right. Samuel's business is basically run by a family and a couple more people he has employed. The smoked fish are packaged and distributed to his customers, who are growing by the day.
I receive orders from Kumasi, from Tema, and as well as Accra. Yes. So these are the areas. And currently there are people who are also trying to get a place at Kaswa where they can also, order from us to be able to distribute it there.
Samuel's love for agriculture developed from childhood.
My father was an educationist and as well as a farmer. So when we were growing up, in fact, he trained us how to farm. And so when I have this land, I've not used it yet. I started to do some small garden here to get my foodstuffs. So farming has been part of me since childhood.
Aside the fish, he packages honey as well. He aims to process other agri-products too. And that's our show this week from MJAB in Nsawam. Join us next week, find out where the van is headed to. Remember, it's brought to you by Joy Business, proudly supported by Busy, making good things happen.
You're welcome back, and this is the marketplace. Now, in other stories, workers of the ECG in some parts of the country have once again demonstrated against attempts by government to what they maintain is privatization of ECG under a 25-year concession. Despite persistent assurance from the government that it's not a sale, workers say they need a clear roadmap for any action in that particular respect. And British Edu actually was there to witness the event in total. But then before we take Beatrice, who is here with us, let's take a clip from the demonstration by the ECG workers.
Today is Public Service International Day, and we are affiliated to the Public Service International. And for that matter, we are supposed to also celebrate the day, and it is celebrated globally.
But celebration cannot be done with red armbands and headgears.
Well, in terms of organized labor, we celebrate the May Day in this same mode. We have said that the privatization will not help Ghanaians, and for that matter, we should look for a better deal to handle. You're looking at the privatization, it will rather worsen the plight and the situations of Ghanaians as per se. Because if you go to Uganda now, they are paying the highest bill as at now. But they went into concession. Other than that, they wouldn't have suffered that.
Today is a day that we set aside to celebrate the day. And as
You're welcome back. And that was the demonstration by the ECG workers there. Now I do have Beatrice Edu here with me to tell us what exactly. Beatrice, tell me, what exactly is it that you found out from there? What happened?
Sure, so let me run us through what happened briefly. And it started from the Aveno branch of the ECG, where you heard some of the workers protesting what they claim is government's decision to privatize the electricity company of Ghana.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, so from there I moved to the Roman Ridge branch, where they were also protesting, just that it was in a calm way.
As compared to the
Aveno.
Okay.
Exactly, they were in their offices, and then you could only see the red cloth hanged at their gate.
Okay.
And then from there I moved on to the Achimota branch, that had the same way as the one at Roman Ridge. Yes, okay. And then I was told that the original office is around the Tema station, and I was there. Unfortunately, a lot of the offices of the managers were locked, and so I could not speak to them. But what I heard was that they protested early in the morning and went back to work afterwards.
But you know, these signals have been on the wall for quite some time now, where ECG workers have been protesting Some at a point they call it sit down. They've written a lot of proposals to the government, giving options as to how they can actually sort of like a resurrect, for want of a better word or expression, the ECG without necessarily giving it to, say, a private person, basically. So I don't see why did they wait till now?
It seems that they are not comfortable or satisfied with the explanations they've had so far. In fact, one of the protesters said that the whole project is like 25 years, and there are no intermittent reviews. And so it makes it difficult for you to correct any wrong thing that may be done in between. And then they also don't know the clear roadmap. What is at stake? Who is going to be affected? And so they want government to come clear with all of these, even if government wants to go ahead with these.
I think we need to explore this further, but we're naturally going to actually bring you here back again, since you have enough and a lot for us on this one. Beatrice, thank you very much for joining us here on the Marketplace. I hope to be seeing you here more and more. Exactly. Thank you very much. And that was Beatrice Edu there, who was actually on the site or on the ground and brought us up to speed on event happening at ECG there, so far as the demonstration are concerned. So we had that one there. So that will be it here on the Marketplace. And on that note, you can keep your let's say feedback and comment coming in. Our Twitter handle is Joy Business GH, and if you're a Facebooker, it's simply Joy Business. For more, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is John Kojo Amwago. Have a very good afternoon.